Women of Reddit, what is your nice girls finish last story? Before we actually begin, allow me, Daniel the editor, to chime in for a second. I want to make a deal. How about I share a funny short video with you before the stories you're about to hear? As a token of appreciation, you go ahead and give this channel a sub. It would mean the world to me. Anyway, hope everything is okay for you all. Have a fun one, and stay safe. I had spent a year building up the confidence of my ex-boyfriend, who was extremely insecure. Consistently reinforcing him that he is attractive, smart, worthy of any woman's time. You know, stuff a girlfriend should do for their partners. He left me for the girl he thought he never had a chance with because, in his words, "You made me feel like I could do anything I want." I did not realize that involved doing other girls too. I had been telling my best friend for months about the huge crush I had on a guy in one of my classes. One day I asked if she would be there when we first hung out so I would be a little more comfortable. She had a class with him too, but neither of us talked to him much. She brought up the topic of sex and was telling him how she'd slept with 5.5 guys and was asking him about his experience. I admitted I'd never kissed anyone. After, he asked if she wanted to go to the soccer game with him while I had to go home. Within the week they were ducking and she paraded him around me. That sucks. How can one sleep with half a guy? Easy answer there. If you have a YouTube channel where you make Reddit text-to-speech videos, you count as half a human being. Please like and subscribe. I dated someone through the end of high school and most of college. We started out completely in love and constantly together, and then drifted into, well, let's just say I thought we were always in love, but looking back, it's clear we weren't exactly on the same page. This guy graduated from college a year before me, and invited me to his graduation. I hauled ass for nearly 2 hours on the subway to the other end of New York City. Didn't know where his family was sitting and all his friends were in the ceremony, so I sat alone for the whole boring thing. Afterwards we met up and said hi to his parents, who then went home. I was in college in another city, so I was looking forward to spending some one-on-one time with my boyfriend, who I didn't get to see that often. We went over to his dorm, where he informed me that he still had to move all his stuff out. Where were all his friends? Nowhere to be seen. Strong guy neighbors? Nothing but in Spanish. Family? Gone, obviously. So who was going to help him schlep all those heavy boxes down to his car? Why, his sweet, loving girlfriend, of course. I don't remember how long it took, but I was glad when we were finally done. Because it meant I was finally going to enjoy some romantic time with my guy, right? Haha, no, silly rabbit. No sooner did we finish shoving the last box of crap into his car than he said, "Well, thanks for your help. I'm going to go hang out with my friends now." I thought we would be spending some time together. Just the two of us. I spent most of the year 200 miles away. Dumbass. Yeah, no. I want to go see my friends. The ones he has been hanging out with like every single day. But you can come too, I guess. If you want to. I declined, and went home. The penny finally dropped, as they say. I finally understood what he felt for me, which was nothing. Then I spent the next several months solidly kicking myself for being that dumb. I can't say my love life has been perfect since then, but at least I know I will never allow someone to take me for granted that way ever again. Edit. Wow, my first Reddit gold. Thank you, kind stranger. My good friend had horrible breast cancer. During her recovery, her good friend who was a nurse hung out with and helped with her recovery. It turns out the good friend was having an affair with her husband. Had a close male friend who had a rough breakup with his GF who cheated on him multiple times. We had always been attracted to each other, but timing had never been right. After a while he asked me out, and I told him it might not be a good idea, as he seemed to still be affected by his ex. He waited a few more months and asked again, claiming he was over her. It was one of the best relationships I've ever had. We truly loved and cared for each other and had so much fun together for over a year. We discussed moving in together and our respective families were quite happy for us. Then his ex moved back to town. Even though she was living with her new she decided she wanted her ex, my partner, back. And apparently he wanted her back, too. I discovered him cheating, which broke my heart. He claimed he didn't know what to do because he loved us both, but ultimately chose to be with her. Now they're married but unhappy, as she got pregnant by another guy just months after their wedding. The whole situation makes me sad still. I can't even feel the slightest bit of Nazi language. Edit. Thanks for all the kind words. I never imagined my sad sack story would be noticed, really. A few updates. After we broke up, we did that cliched thing of missing each other and hooking up a few times in the immediate months post breakup when he claimed he hadn't committed to her yet as he told her he wanted to take it slow in their reunification. He said he really struggled with loving two such different people at the same time. I know, I was stupid. I finally put an end to it by taking a job assignment to another country. I was heartbroken. Gutted, really, but moved on. I don't miss him and thinking about what happened just makes me feel sad for him, not sad for myself. I'm quite happy where I ended up, as I never would have taken the overseas assignment had we been together. Not so fun fact of this debacle, they had invited me to their wedding. What the duck? And no, I didn't attend. I was voted into president of student council in my college. I worked with younger girls who just wanted the title on their resumes and perks. I kept strict with them that the students' money should be for prizes and awesome parties for the students, not expensive trips and rewards for council members. Tuition is expensive enough, we should give back as much of that as possible to the students' experience. Well, after almost an entire year of fighting with these selfish people, they thought I was being unfair to them, voted me off with a week of my term left. So they could go on one last student paid trip while charging the students for the last activities they put on. It was crushing and really put bigger politics into perspective for me. Can't you just whistle-blow to the student newspaper and get them all kicked out, charged with embezzlement or something? Is it different in the US to the UK? There's like 4 people who read the student newspaper here and about 8 who care about student politics. Which is nicely highlighted by student president who has hilariously been found anti-Semitic twice but still president and running again. First grade. I will never forget. Our teacher, who up until this point I viewed as a champion of goodness and justice, had to leave the room and told us to sit silently Indian style, yes I'm that old, in front of her chair to wait for her return. I was the only one who did it the entire time she was gone. Meanwhile, about 8 little asshole boys ran around screeching like hooligans until someone shouted, "Teacher's coming." And those misbehaving brats lined up in front of me like little angels right before she entered the room. They all got lollipops for being in the front row. I had left some space because I had remembered how teacher had always laughingly said, "Leave a little room for my feet." Everyone else, myself included, got punished. My face burned with rage and I cried, but I did not tattle because I knew teacher didn't like tattletales. The injustice burns me to this day. And that was the day I learned life isn't fair. I was 6. Made a certifiable best friend my sophomore year at college. We were both studying in Ohio, but originally from Indiana, so we carpooled to visit home. We became inseparable and I bent over backwards to help her with any little thing. She was even the one to let me know that we would be applying to transfer to a school back in our home state, where her boyfriend attended. I wasn't thrilled with paying super high out-of-state tuition, so I agreed. Flash forward a year, we are settled at our new college and she's cheating on her boyfriend, hooray. I convince her to break it off with him. I was still good friends with the guy, and trying to hook up with his musician neighbor, so one weekend while attending one of his house parties, he pulls me away to bemoan his breakup and go on and on about how they'll get back together, they're destined for each other, etc. I felt bad for the guy, Not only because he was a super nice dude, but also because his ex-GF, my BFF, had her new boyfriend in her dorm room and were going to town. I cracked. I grabbed him by the shoulders, told him don't you ever tell my best friend forever this, but you need to move on. She has. She's happy and you deserve to be happy. Just let it go. Next morning, my best friend has sent me Facebook messages galore calling me a traitor, awful person, etc. So yeah, I lost my best friend at the time because I told her ex-BF to move on. In hindsight, she was a pretty awful friend. Too long. Didn't read. Told my best friend's ex-BF to move on. Best friend called me a traitor.